Hey guys, so I have here the last little bit of the sample for my smaller 3.5 or 3.6 gallon batch of my Hefeweizen that I brewed an 8-gallon batch of. And I forgot to turn the camera on, and then I realized I only had a little bit of the gravity sample left. So what happened was, I think because I lost a lot of temperature in the mash, because I think I really do need a new cooler, I lost about between like 3 and 5 degrees over like the 60 or 70-minute mash. So I just, even with the blanket, so I just think that the insulation just isn't good anymore in my cooler. So I'm gonna have to probably buy a new one before I brew again. But this beer, which fermented between 66 and 70 for the past 10 days, got down to 10:07 after temperature correction. Just went 1 point up because my hydrometer is calibrated for 60, and it was about 69 degrees when I measured it. So it's tasting pretty good. It tastes like Weihenstephan, and it smells like it, where it has a little bit of banana in the aroma and a little bit of clove, but then when you taste it, you'll get a little bit of sweet banana, and it finishes nice and dry, a little bit of clove, a little bit of like a dry lemon, a little bit of dry sweet malt. A really balanced beer, so I'm really happy that even at the higher temperature, which you would think you get a lot of esters, it really doesn't have too much banana, which is what I don't like in Hefs. I like it to be like leaning towards dry and clovey rather than sweet, bubblegummy, and banana-y. Hey guys, so we're here the next night, Saturday night of July 4th, so happy July 4th, and this will be posted later than that. So I decided to take a gravity sample of the main batch, the 5-gallon batch of my Hefeweizen, and surprisingly, even though it was kept, around between 62 and 64, as you can see, hopefully, it's still fermented down pretty much to 10:06 or 10:07, just like the other version was fermented warmer. Hey guys, so I'm here for the third gravity sample of this Homebrew Wednesday. This time it's with my Saison, or my Tart Tent Saison. Just wanted to give you an update. So I'm filming this on Tuesday night. So last week Tuesday, I decided that from after talking to a bunch of people, whether in the Milk the Funk group and then privately to Dan ABA and another local home brewer who brews sours, my two options were to either pitch like a liter or so starter of French Saison yeast, or Hawaii yeast 3711, or pitch Brett. So when I went to Bitter and Esther's to talk to them about it, I ended up buying both Brett Brock's and 3711. And after I saw that after a little bit of time outside the fridge, it was dropping, gravity, it was dropping, I decided to go for the 3711. And here we have, after a week of being with 3711, and I'll try to get you guys a good look at it. So, and it's gone down from about 10:18 before I add the yeast to about 10:12, around 10:12. Now it's probably a little higher because it's at room temperature, not like 60 degrees like this is calibrated for. But it's definitely, I'll make sure, since you're probably not going to be able to see it in the camera, I'll make sure to take a picture with my cell phone or with this camera to focus in on where it is exactly at. But it's definitely going down closer to 10:10, where you want Saisons, typically you want Saisons to be between like 1.000 and 10:05, max 10:07, so that when you bottle it, you don't get bottle bombs. So since I'm not in any real rush to bottle this, because I still have to bottle the smaller half of my Hefeweizen, and then buy a new bottling bucket once I bottle this beer at my Imperial Rye Saison that I've been aging for a year with Brett and some bottle jugs and the dried apricots, as some of you may remember. So I still have time for that. Maybe we give it another week or so and then take another sample. And because I added a little over a liter starter, I have more beer now to work with for samples before I bottle the whole batch to age and and enjoy over the rest of the summer. So let's pour it into my Flying Dog glass. I already have some in there because I overfilled the gravity sample tube. So the beer has actually started to clear just a little bit, it's starting to settle out. So we'll see how much longer the yeast stays active, because it's a lot clearer than the last sample I took. But in the aroma, there's still pretty tart. I could tell that a touch of the Saison yeast is starting to poke through, and I'm hoping that with dry hopping it with Sriracha yeast, it'll bring more Saison character out. But I can get a little bit of the French Saison like spice and fruitiness, along with like the tart, lemony, lactic aroma that's really dominating both the aroma and the flavor. So let's taste it. Yeah, so it's still really, really tart, which is why it's taking its time to attenuate. It's a very harsh environment, so I did add a good amount of yeast nutrient to the starter. Yeah, it's still really tart, and as it dries out, actually, the tartness is a little bit more in your face because the finish is so much drier. So I might actually have to bottle it at whatever gravity it is in a week or so, just to prevent the tartness from like being overwhelming on the palate. Now maybe with time off the yeast, that'll change and the tartness will start to fade. But you know, right off the bat, it's going to be really tart either way. So it's definitely a good sign that it's continuing to attenuate. And once I take another sample, of course, I will share that footage with you. Cheers. Hey BrewTubers, so happy Homebrew Wednesday. I have no idea when this is going to be posted, but right now we are kegging my main part of my Hefeweizen, my tradition Hefeweizen, inspired by Fiddler on the Roof and the Reinheitsgebot. So it's still pretty cloudy, and we have the gravity sample here, also, which is also a nice pale cloudy color. So as you know from earlier in this video, from the gravity samples, it fermented down to like 1006, 1007, which makes it about, rounded up to 5.9 to 6%, just about half a percentage of alcohol high for the style. Ideally, I would have liked it to be on par with Weihenstephan, which is 5.4, but 5.5 wouldn't have, bothered me. But with a half a percent extra, next time, I lost, a decent amount of temperature in the mash, I'd probably have to recalibrate my thermometer. But either way, it's smelling really, really good. It has a good amount of like banana and lemon, and that like dry lemon that you get in Hefeweizen in the aroma, but in the flavor, it's touch sweet up front, not too much banana. It doesn't dry out too much, and has a lot of clove mixed in, so it's like not really banana forward like a Schneiderweiss is or a Paul Anner is. So it's really nice and balanced like Weihenstephan, which is why I use the Weihenstephan yeast. So it's siphoning nice and quickly because I have the thicker tube as it siphons, actually, it's not as cloudy as I thought it was. But one story that I want to tell you about in relation to kegging is that I jumped the gun and swapped out my 5-pound CO2 tank today because I already, carbonated 4 kegs with it, and I never done 5 out of a tank before because I've had leaks. This is my first tank that's really lasted all the way. So instead of, trying to weigh it or whatever, or taking a chance on it, I swapped it out, and I realized that I had a pound left, but I wasn't gonna, in New York City, take the subway only to bring back the same tank. And when I already woke up early before I go to work for my late shift on Thursdays, I wasn't gonna wake up early and run down there and bring back the same tank. So luckily the guy gave me a break for paying cash, and he gave me a good lesson that every tank on the top somewhere has a tare weight, so that when you weigh it, you can take the difference of the weight that's on your scale from the tare weight. And my food scale that I use to weigh out my hops goes up to 5 kilos or 11 pounds. So that would basically be almost what it is full. So by the time it's empty or close to empty, you'll be able to weigh it and not break your food scale if you want to use a food scale to weigh it instead of having to stand on your bathroom scale with it. But yeah, so that's my story about that. So in the future, I'm just gonna wait till it basically runs out and then shut down the system. I need to do it for a day or two, depending on my work schedule, and then swap it out when I can. And in the future, I really do want to have a spare tank because my work schedule is pretty busy nowadays with my new job. So the last for this week's Homebrew Wednesday, because I don't know when I'm going to start making the reviews, I want to officially announce the newest sponsor of the Brewed Palette. Sorry for the bad lighting. But here, as you see, is my new SS Brewtech 10-gallon kettle. Everyone calls it SS Brewtech, but it's SS Brewing Technologies. I've always wanted a stainless steel pot because even though I've been brewing great beer with my 10-gallon aluminum pot, as you see there, I still wanted something that would last me a really long time and I could count on for quality. So SS Brewtech is known for that, and I emailed them and they were very willing to become a sponsor of the Brewed Palette, and I'm going to be doing a lot of cool things with them in the near future. But until they really come to fruition, I'm going to be brewing with the equipment, this pot, and their new mash tun. I won't give you a full review just yet, but I should be posting a video of how they tell you to assemble the thermometer and the 3-piece ball valve, and how to prepare the pot specifically for the stainless steel to be ready to boil wort in. So that'll be one video, and then the official review, which will be a brew day along with the new mash tun, will be coming in the next few weeks. So that's my main update. What I did to free up this keg, which was to so that I put my rest of my 1 gallon left of my Pilsner and growlers, and I still have the IPA and the porter, so now I'll have a nice Weinstefan-esque Hefeweizen, but my own recipe obviously on tap. So that's it for this week's Homebrew Wednesday. I hope you're doing well, and if I have any extra footage after what I've already showed you, of course I'll include it. Cheers.